Hi, my name is Jessica Jackson. I'm a Senior Ruby Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and today I want to talk to you about my fitness journey while using Plexus. I'd like to think of myself as an athlete. I have done sports my entire life. I've focused on individualized sports. I was a swimmer and dabbled in a little bit of track growing up, but swimming was my baby. That's what I loved, what I did the most. I did club swimming from the time I was 6 years old until I was 13, and then I did high school swimming, and then when I had ended my career of swimming at the end of high school, I had thought about heading into college, but school was hard enough as it was for me. So I just continued on with swimming as a swim instructor. I had actually started when I was 15, but then continued all the way on through. Actually, until I got my big kid job, I was a swim coach and PE teacher. When I moved to Texas, which was almost 5 years ago. I've been living here, and during that time, prior to moving to Texas and getting a job as a swim coach, I did some other things. Swimming ended, I picked up some other things. I started training for half marathons, and I ran 2 of them. I had done 2 triathlons, and really started learning more about lifting and the mechanics of how your body works when lifting and how to eat correctly. And I'm an exercise sports science major, so I did a lot of this all while I was in college because it was going right along with what I was learning. So I had gotten a personal trainer in college so I could learn how to lift correctly. She was kind enough to show me when I was trying to do a squat in a squat rack one day that I was going to hurt myself. So as much as I was an athlete, there was a lot that I didn't know. So college was an awesome time for me to learn about all that. But throughout all of this, I was never able to stick to a clean eating diet without binging at some point. At some point, I would give in and just, I'm not talking just a little bit, I'm talking gorging. And I just thought it was my personality and something that was wrong with me, and that I just wasn't good at craving good foods for my body. I also never was able to get rid of belly fat. It always held on. There was one point in my college career where it was almost gone, but it was just always there. And for as clean as I was eating and for as diligently as I was exercising, I mean, I was correctly fueling my body and exercising in the correct way. So I should have been losing that belly fat. So why wasn't it going away? Well, in 2013, in January 2013, I started CrossFit, and I gained a lot of muscle mass. My body was great at adding muscle mass, and again, still had that tummy. Was eating a paleo diet, just real foods, no processed foods, still had a belly. Fast forward, I found out about Plexus after I had my first son and was struggling with being able to feed him. And that's what drew me into it, drew me into Plexus, because as you just heard my background, you didn't hear any supplementation in there, did you? I didn't. I didn't believe in it, didn't think it would work, no, not for me. Didn't even remotely cross my mind that I was going to need to take a multivitamin in order to better myself. Now, I had heard some people at the gym that had been using different proteins and BCAAs, and I had dabbled a little bit in that, but nothing ever stuck and nothing was consistent. And I'm really thankful I didn't, because later learning about all the toxins and all the chemicals and additional added sugars that are in that, it would have hindered me anyways. So, I started solely for my son, and then quickly saw my body starting to change. After a couple months of being on Plexus, I was able to get back into working out. My pregnancy with him and my postpartum was really hard, and so it took me a bit to get back into it. And I started taking some different HIIT classes, and I started adding muscle mass a lot quicker than I had before. And mind you, I'd had a kid. So I'd had a child. My life had really, my body had been turned upside down. I'd gained 60 pounds, which I'd never gained that much in my life. And so my body really was in a broken, unhealthy state, but yet I was adding this muscle mass. I was losing fat, and I knew, because I had one of those scales that told you how much fat that you were losing. I was losing fat, and I was like, this is insane. My recovery time is a lot quicker. I'm not nearly as sore. I'm still sore getting into shape, but not nearly as much anymore. I really felt my lung capacity was was a lot better than it should have been, considering I'd been sitting on my butt for a really long time after, during my pregnancy and after having my son. So how did this happen? Like, how did this gut health and blood sugar regulation, my friends? That's how it happened. I was working on healing my gut. I was working on regulating my blood sugar, so I had the energy, had better blood circulation. I had better stamina because my gut was in check. So don't think that just because Plexus may be dubbed or you've been told that it is a weight loss company, that's what it is, because it is so much more. It is all about balancing your body. And think about, as athletes, they want to be balanced. In order to be a high-performing athlete, you have to be balanced. Y'all, I ran a 7:03-minute mile. This is after my second baby. My second baby is now 7 months old, and I have not had that fast of a mile time since I was, honestly, I'm not going to kid you, I was in the 6th grade. I was in the 6th grade was the last time I had any kind of minute. When I was running half marathons, my mile average was about between 9 and 10. I think adrenaline got me to 9-minute mile while I was running my first half marathon, and I was ecstatic about that. And so, granted, I was racing, like I was going fast for this mile, but a 7:03-minute mile, I am lifting more than I was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I could not have had a 200-pound deadlift, and now I do. Now, is that where I wanted to be? Of course not, but I only get to work out 2 to 3 times a week because I have 2 babies that are 2 and under. So 2 and under, but I'm still able to have the energy to get up at 5 a.m. and go work out. My recovery time is literally cut in half, and I am able to I crave good foods. My body wants good foods. Again, it all goes back to blood sugar regulation and gut health. So if you're out there and you are someone who's an avid exerciser, CrossFitter, whatever you choose to work out, consider using Plexus as an aid in that, because that's exactly what it is. It is an aid. It's not a cure-all, but it's definitely going to help you. So I hope this has helped you and inspired you to think about using Plexus for your exercise routine.